The daughter-in-law comes from outside and says, "Father, today the food is less. I am hungry right now. It would be better if you do not eat." The mother-in-law immediately says, "No, let them eat fully first. Here, husband, eat this." The daughter-in-law says in a slightly harsh tone, "What is the need? This little food will not be enough for me either. Today you both should not eat." The father-in-law says softly, "All right, we are not very hungry." The mother-in-law says, "Come, let us take a little walk outside." The daughter-in-law, being alone, says to herself, "What is this situation? The food has gone stale, yet they are still eating it." While walking, the father-in-law says, "We have grown old. Has the daughter-in-law started to dislike us now?" The mother-in-law says, "Have we done her any harm?" Neither troubled her, nor made any complaint. The father-in-law says in a heavy voice, "Age has come. Now we are of no use, nor useful to anyone." Here the daughter-in-law thinks in her heart, "Father and mother are old now. They do not eat properly either. I will make fresh food." The mother-in-law says, "Now what should we do? Should we go stay with the elder son for a few days?" The father-in-law says, "I will call." The father-in-law calls the elder son, but he does not pick up the phone. The mother-in-law says, "Come, call the daughter." The father-in-law calls the daughter. She says, "Father, why did you call?" The father-in-law says, "We want to stay with you for a few days." The daughter replies, "Father, there is no space here. On top of that, my mother-in-law is also coming. You people should not come here." The father-in-law says in disappointment, "All right, if there is no space, then we will not come." The mother-in-law says in a choked voice, "Then where should we go?" The father-in-law says, "Come, let us go to the old home." The mother-in-law says, "My heart does not want to go there." The father-in-law says, "Come, let us go back and tell the son." The parents are going when on the way they meet the son. The son says, "Father, mother, where had you gone?" The mother-in-law says, "We had come out for a little walk." The father-in-law says, "Son, we want to talk to you about something. Drop us at the old home." The son says in surprise, "Why is this? Are you facing trouble here, or have we made some mistake?" The father-in-law says, "This morning your wife took food away from us. We felt she considers us a burden. She does not want to see us here." The son says, "This cannot be. There must be some misunderstanding. If this happened, then I will talk myself." The father-in-law says, "Son, do not let a small matter cause a fight between you two." The son says, "Do not worry. I know what to do. It is also cold. You both come home." At home, the daughter-in-law prepares food and says, "The food is ready. Father and mother have still not come." At that moment, the husband comes and says, "Why did you stop mother and father from eating in the morning? They are talking about going to an old home." The daughter-in-law says nervously, "What? They want to go to an old home? They misunderstood me. The food was stale. It was smelling. Last time, remember, because of this, they became sick, vomiting, diarrhea for many days. I do not want to see them in that condition again." The son says softly, "I understood. It was really a misunderstanding." The daughter-in-law sits with the mother-in-law and father-in-law and says, "Mother, father, my voice became harsh in the morning. Please do not mind." The mother-in-law says with tearful eyes, "We felt that you wanted to leave us." The daughter-in-law says, "This can never happen. They say if there is even one elder in the house, he is a treasure. You both are a blessing for us." The son says, "Father, mother, this is your home. Do not even think of going anywhere. You raised us. Now it is our turn." The daughter-in-law says, "Parents are not a burden. They are the real blessing of the home." If parents are alive, be sure to share this video.